Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey, it's Jeff McNichol down here at Mom's Music, 1900 Melwood Avenue. I was just thinking, when I was a kid, the magic was at Frankfort Avenue, the Mom's Music at Frankfort Avenue, and I used to beg people to get a ride down there just to hang out with the guys and see all the cool gear. Now that I'm the owner of this store, it's like a dream come true. We're recreating the magic with the vibe that we used to have at the old store. We're carrying all the gear that you're going to possibly want. We're giving you the outstanding service and personal attention that you deserve. Yeah, so we've got the great guitar shop here. We're carrying USA Fender, USA Gibson, Paul Reed Smith, Gretsch, Jackson, Charvel, anything you could possibly want, we're going to have it for you. Mom's is, and always will be, Louisville's music store.
Thank you for tuning into the Metal Forge. I am Mark Jackson and I am your host. The premise of the show is pretty simple. Awesome interviews and awesome music. If you want to contact me, hit me up at metalforgeradio@gmail.com or visit the website metalforgeradio.com. And now, let's get this show on the road. What is going on, Metalheads? Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Today, I have Dyer Keathley from the band Volcandra here in the Metal Forge, and they have a special announcement for us today. So I am so excited to find out what that is going to be. I think I got a really good idea already. So we're going to check in with him in just a few minutes, but before we get into that, I also have Athena here today with a new episode of Metal Mischief, where she is going to be reviewing the new Boia Spasticus Split. So we will check in with her momentarily as well, but before we get into that even, let's talk about this. News broke yesterday that Ozzy had delivered his new album to Epic Records. And, you know, he put out an album here back in 2020 called Ordinary Man. And while there were a few good songs on there, there were a few that, in my opinion, were just kind of like meh. You know, just not like the Oz of old. Of course, he's like 72 or 3 years old at this point. But, you know, he's still out there doing it. It's really interesting because after I read the Loudwire article about this, it seems as if it's a big collaboration album. Which is always an interesting thing in my opinion. But I see Chad Smith is on there, Rob Trujillo has come back for some stuff, Duff McKagan, Tony Iommi, Eric Clapton, Zach Wilde, Jeff Beck, Josh Homme, Mike McCready. You know, there's so many people that are on this. It makes me almost wonder, you know, is this going to be his like all-star jam out album? You know, I think, you know, Hey Stupid from Alice Cooper was that way, where he had done a big collaboration album in the early 90s. So it's really interesting to see when it's going to come out and what it's going to have on there, which it got me down the rabbit hole of seeing what albums are coming out or have been somewhat announced but not really given dates on, which was really interesting. for example, Anthrax has said that they're going to have a new album out hopefully this year, sometime in 2022. And, they haven't had an album since 2016's For All Kings. So I'm always interested in anything thrash related because that's what I like. I love the thrash stuff. So hopefully that'll happen. It also looks like Avenged Sevenfold is going to be having a new album coming out as well at some point. And they haven't had one since the stage in 2016. So another 6 years there for them as well. Obviously, Megadeth is coming out with The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. Probably sometime this year. I know Steve DiGiorgio from Testament is on that album. So that's going to be interesting. For all you Ghost fans out there, they're talking about releasing a new album here in 2022 as well. And they haven't had one since 2018. So anyways, yeah, the whole album thing is pretty cool, especially from these bands that are tried and true and tested. Obviously, we love seeing new music here on the Metal Forge, but, I always want to review these people as well. So, hell fucking yes. I dig it. So, let's go ahead and check in with Athena here, and I will be back when she's done. Athena, what do you got?
Misfits and miscreants, bangers and mashers, deviants and the deviated, the tormented and the fermented, ghouls and goblins, creatures of the night. Jack those headphones, crank the volume to max, spark it up, and just relax. It's time for your deadly dose. Welcome to the next installment of Metal Mischief. I'm your host, Athena, and on today's lineup, we have a new album that is split like your crack in the back between Italian death metal thrashers Spasticus and Boia. Spasticating execution is a much welcomed breath of death air. So, put down that vino. This could definitely get messy. You're going to need to spark up a spliff, crank up the cassette player, because that's right, folks. This album is actually offered on cassette and CD. I'm hoping someday on vinyl, maybe one of those special things they put out. Anyway, we're going to let the hair loose. We're going to turn off the idiot tube, and we're going to turn up this radio as loud as it can go, because it is time for some spasticating. So, pause for a moment while I take a sip of my beer.
We'll do a shot.
I do. That's my producer. That's my producer, Dustin. Shot?
Shot.
Yes. Shot. Woo. Good old Kentucky bourbon. That's right. All right. Wait a second. We're not in Kentucky anymore. Just transpose us over to Italy for a minute. This is where both these bands hail from, is Italy. This is a spicy blend of death metal delicatessen with, well, fuck. I meant to say, it will add the perfect dash of death and thrash metal to any dinner gathering. And you know what, folks? I'm going to keep that in there. We are not cutting that out because that is just a stoner moment. And I'm sure you all totally understand that. Anyway. With a tantalizing heathen appetizer, Spasticus unleashes some delectable classic brutality with Crypt of Freaks. It's a very enticing opener for the album, I must say. With pounding blast beats and the perfect blend of thrash mixed with this almost carcass-like vocals, this dirty blend is just totally vivid with raw metal. The production is gritty, and I love my fucking grit. I love my grit. And due to the fact that this was recorded in their practice space, it has this really warm quality that makes you feel like you're kind of just sitting on dude's fucking couch. Okay, well, I must add that it was mastered at Obsessive Rumble Studio in Italy. And I also must add that I really like that for a studio name. That's pretty fun. Alright, so actually in the background, we were just listening to Spasticus. This is Hideous Eternal by Spasticus that you're hearing in the background. When this song ends, it will be Boia, Coffin Claustrophobia. I can only fucking imagine. I mean, please, put a little bell on my grave because I do not want to die that way. Although, man, maybe that is like the epic death. Like, you're buried alive and like, I don't know, I'm going to take that back. I think that's actually pretty epic. I still want the fucking bell, though. Alright, so, I think we're just going to ixnay that main course and go straight for dessert. If dessert was served with a fucking scorpion, Boia is straight up my kind of death metal. Technical in its recipe, savory in its finish. Boia makes the perfect brutal batter. I enjoyed every lick, every bite, every finger licking piece of this Italian death delicacy. I mean, Boia has like this classic edge, man. Like, think like Autopsy. You guys all know what I'm talking about. This delicious meal was recorded by Fabio Monaco from Bunker 66 at Sound Empathy Studios and mixed by Lex, quote unquote, Lex Morrow at LM Recording Studios in Italy. And once again, I just have to say, I'm sorry if I butcher anybody's name. I'm trying over here, I promise. So there's something really special to me about like split albums. And I think it's just like that convergence of two bands getting together and being like, man, let's do something really cool and put this shit out and like we can both get our names out there and split the fucking cost because, you know, everything's goddamn expensive. So why not like team up and like do it together, right? Well, I'm glad these guys did because this split album is so much fun. And it's, you know, it's just such a fun way to get to know new bands too. You might have heard of the one but not the other, you know. Sometimes it's not always a good mix though. But Spasticus and Boia are a very viable companion. You know, I really think that these flavors blend really well together. You know, and of course, I had to dive into both bands' history and listen a little bit more to some of the other things on that menu. But trust me when I say you should try everything both bands have to offer. And because I love plugging all the local shit, you can find Spasticating Execution on, and I'm going to do my shitty drum roll, because this is an awesome record company name, Caligari Records. But not at your local grocer.
I'm now hungry.
Well, you should be. We've been smoking and drinking all night.
In Caligari. That was...
That's not calamari, that's Caligari.
Oh.
Alright, it's time to meet our cooks. Spasticus is, and I'm just going to reiterate, I'm sorry if I butcher, my dearest apologies. Jan Spasticus. Spasticus is actually kind of cool too. Guitars. Cross von Barbary. Barbie? I don't know. Barbary? Barbarella? Vocals! They did vocals! And I like how this guy's got numbers in his name. Walter669. Is that your handle, dude? You're on drums. you are on drums. And then Toto Schizoid. Schizoid. Toto Schizoid on the mighty bass. Alright, that was Spasticus. Now, we have Boia Anti-Urban on the bass. The mighty bass. And I think it's Beppe DP on drums. Road Warrior, which of course makes me think of fucking Mad Max. The Road Warrior. On guitars. And now I'm just like picturing, Mel Gibson on guitars, and that's fucking with me a little bit. Anyway, and then Chromac. Either way you say it, it's pretty fucking cool. On vocals. Oh, speaking of that, here is Boia. This shit is really brutal, very delicious. Alright, anyway, of course, I want to mention that you can find this badass album on Bandcamp. You can find everybody on Bandcamp, no matter what your musical stylings are. Say you're a metalhead during the day, and you want to listen to some, floofy stuff at night, go to Bandcamp. You can find it all. I'm just saying, every metal has their floofy music. We're all gonna be a liar if we say we don't. Anyway. Go to Bandcamp, support indie musicians. Alright, I just gotta say, this album was so good. Wait. I'm jumping into things. I gotta hit my bowl first. Wait a second. Oh, and that sound means it's time for another shot, actually. We can't round this off without, rounding things off. Cheers to us, then. Boop. Whew. Alright. So, in hindsight, this album was so good. I had to go back for seconds. Wait. I mean, make that thirds. When you gotta, unbutton your pants and everything to let the belly out? Yeah, that's where I am right now. But there's always room for a digestive. Yeah, that's right. That means it's time for Athena's 5-shot review. So if you're new to the program, then this is going to be enlightenment for you. If you've been here before and you've heard me do this spiel, then you can just do your thing for a second and come back to me. But here we go. 5 shots. That means I needed 5 fucking shots to get through the motherfucking album. 4 shots means coulda used some oomph. 3 shots means good. Made me air drum. Bang my head. 2 shots. Really fucking good. Put that shit in the glove box for traveling. And 1 shot. Excellent. I'll probably have a bang over in the morning. So, here comes another shitty drum roll. Oh. Now, this dirty coupling definitely deserves 1 shot. I'll probably have a bang over in the morning and maybe some gas. Until next time, keep it heavy.
All right. Thank you so much, Athena, for that awesome review. Hell yes. So we're going to start things off the right way here with Volcandra. We're going to go back to the beginning. We are going to Plains of Despair. right, Metalheads, I have a great treat for you all, because back when this show was an actual radio show before a podcast, I had this gentleman on. His name is Dyer from the band Volcandra. Dude, it's been like a long time. It's been like 3 years since you've been on.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, like, what the hell? How have you been?
I've been good. A lot of changes, but everything's still going steady. Life's going good, and I'm living it up as much as I can right now. So
hell yeah,
welcome.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, because the world caught on fire there for a little bit, and now we're coming out of it for the most part, and we're all getting back to doing shows, and I'm just excited to see all of you guys and all of the friends bands here in Louisville, along with the people that are coming through. So how has Volcandra been over the last few years?
We've been doing good. As far as playing concerts, we've kind of slowed down on actual playing shows and everything like that, but we haven't completely stopped. But we've been focusing on writing a lot, and we've actually got some pretty cool announcements coming out. So we wrote a little EP and recorded it ourselves with Devin Harper here in Louisville. He did the original album as well,
right.
But he has a studio, Nocturnal Media. We recorded an EP with him and sent it out to a record label, and apparently they liked it, so they signed us. So as of right now, we are signed to Prosthetic Records.
Holy shit!
Yeah, man, we're pretty excited about that. There's a lot of amazing bands that have been on that label and are still currently on that label, and really excited to work with them. And Prosthetic has been amazing so far. That's, I was a little worried because, this is our first time really working with a record company, and, I'd heard horror stories and everything, but they have been amazing. The communication has been great. Everything has been laid out. We know what we're getting into. We know what's going to happen. Everything's, they're just great. I can't say enough good things about them, especially Steve from Prosthetic. He's awesome.
Definitely. And anybody who doesn't know that Prosthetic, has been around for about 25 years now. So, I mean, they've had tons of people on there. They've had Lamb of God on there. They've had Animals as Leaders on there. Gojira. Yeah,
Gojira was on there, I believe. Entheos, I think, was on there at one point. Skeleton Witch, I think, was on there too.
Hell yeah. Marty Friedman has been on there. So,
wow.
Totally awesome people have been on this label, and pretty heavy bands as well. I mean, 1349 has been on that label at one point. Kylisa, if you're anybody of the fans of Black Tusk and people like that in the Savannah, Georgia swamp metal, Kylisa was on there. So holy hell, that's pretty fucking heavy, dude. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. We're real excited. The guys worked real hard, so I can't say enough good things about the guys in the band. They worked real hard for this, so I'm proud of all of them.
Well, for sure, because it's not every day that something like this happens, especially in your own city. Independent labels are out there all the time. There's tons of those, but it seems like when you get real commercial labels, especially ones that have been around for 25 years, a quarter of a century, that's probably been around since you were 10 years old or something like that.
No, before I'm 28, so
so you were since you were 3 years old.
I was a toddler.
And that's really things that musicians aspire to do. I mean, I know everybody out there is like, man, especially once you get older into your late 30s and 40s and stuff, and you're like, man, I don't know if I would take it if anything happens, because you've heard horror stories of labels.
Yeah.
And even still, I think anybody out there would at least have to try it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we're I don't know if I could say how many, but we just we committed to some future albums with them and some other things, and like I said, everything seems to be falling into place because the guys that I'm working with in Volcandra, they just have River and Jamie, the guitar players, just have an absolute catalog of songs and riffs and everything ready to go. So they can sit there and sift and see which songs match with each other or how they can slightly shift this one to match it. You know, we can just put together all these compilations of music and get them ready to go. And it's just the way these guys work and the way Prosthetic works just matches up real well. It's just so, you know, when they say they're going to do something, something gets done and they get it done in the timely fashion. So it's been a great relationship already. So
absolutely. And you hit on something there just a second ago about both of the guitar players, you know, just running and jumping at whatever, you know, having this back catalog of songs written to know what goes with what. And I've always equated music, especially in anything like a 4 or 5 person band, there's always usually those two guys that have this grand vision of everything, of what needs to be done. And those are the ones that drive that, have that driving force. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All the guys, you know, and even with, we've got Dave from Cryptic Hymn as the vocals. So, and if you've seen Dave play, you know, he's a really good guitar player. So we've got him on, you know, ready to go too, if he ever, you know, decides to write stuff, which I think might be happening. So that, I mean, that would be, you know, we've just got such caliber of just hardworking guys in this that it just, everything is just working real smoothly. It's a well-oiled machine right now. I think it's a good way to describe it.
Hell yeah. And that's where it needs to be, because you can't be a slouch. And, you know, now is where the real hard work begins.
Mm-hmm.
Is once you're there, you have to prove everything, because people are going to get jealous and they're going to be like, oh, they only got this because of blah, blah, blah. No, that's not always the fucking case. Granted, it may be in some cases, but people don't understand hard work.
Yeah. Nah.
And how it affects everybody else. And everybody's work ethic is vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to you guys for that. That is fucking awesome. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
Hey, it's Mark Maxwell at Maxwell's House of Music. Listen, all this stuff is now available to purchase on our website. Check it out at maxwellshouseofmusic.com.
We carry all the top brands, like Fender.
We got Gibson.
We also have basses.
We've got ukuleles.
We got drums.
We've got sound gear.
We've got keyboards.
It's Gonna Get Weird is the name of the podcast. We're on season 2, so you have a whole season to get weird with Frank Green and Scott Clark. The best part is there's always laughter.
Oh, yeah, you just pull that out.
We have national touring comedians, NFL stars, rock stars, your local friends. It always gets weird. Weird answers.
Have y'all ever snorted coke off of a 78 Pinto? No? You ain't no man.
Weird questions.
Who had a bigger cocaine habit, Jock Sutherland or Kaywood Ledford?
Neither one, because they stopped beating their wives.
And weird we never even thought of.
Well, no. My friend is on acid, and I sent my friend to go find a payphone so that I can call and turn myself in for murdering this guy and ruin my life.
We love all types of people, but we don't love all people.
Weird. It's Gonna Get Weird is the name of the podcast, available everywhere. And thank you to Big X Sports Radio for being a proud sponsor of It's Gonna Get Weird. Frank Green, Scott Clark. Yeah.
Over the last few years, you guys released the first album right as COVID happened.
Literally.
I mean, like 2 weeks, and then the world shut fucking down.
Yeah, we released the album. I forget the exact day. I think it was February 27th or 28th. It was one of them. But we went on tour for like a week and 4 days. And then the day we got back, I got a message, because I was promoting shows back then. I got a message from a band saying, hey, this is happening, you know, because I don't scroll through much to Facebook or pay too much attention to the news. So, they were like, hey, this is happening. We're going to go ahead and cancel our tour. And then I heard another band canceling their tour. And I was like, okay, this is getting serious. And it was right when we had gotten back. I mean, we got so lucky. I mean, if we waited another month, that release would have went a lot different.
Definitely. And obviously now at the end of this, the COVID deal, you're making this great ass announcement, signing to Prosthetic. So how did the process work through the last couple of years? Because I know limited shows may have happened like 1 or 2 a year at that point. I mean, just how did it work?
So basically what we did was after the album, we had already had some stuff written for, what we wanted to go with next. And we saw COVID and everybody, we kept saying we started recording, I think, in April. So, from March, after we got back from the tour, the release tour in April, we started recording the next piece of music. And it was, like I said, everything was a well-oiled machine, and the guys were moving, and we got in with Devin, and we started recording, and then everything, like you said, just went to shit, and the world started burning, and, everything slowed down, except the guys, it put them in front of their computers more, which, they plug in and they record through their interfaces, and, it just cranked out so much music. So we had, started writing this next material, and we had started recording it, and we were wondering what to do. And we were like, well, we can't really tour on anything right now. And, so we decided to release as, this is released, basically, the EP will be out. It's called Border World. That's good. It's a 4-song EP that we written and recorded with Devin again. But, we got that recorded, really fast after we got back from tour, actually, surprisingly. But we wanted to sit on it because we couldn't do anything. There was nothing that we could do.
Right.
Touring was shut down. Venues were shut down. Everything was just, done for, that time frame. So we waited, and finally, everything started kind of clearing up, and we had sent the EP out to Steve because he included us in his top records of 2020 list, and we caught attention to that. So we got his email and sent it to him, and it just went from there. So, we all thought we wanted to wait till COVID was, going away and things really started opening back up before we could, get back out there, so we could get back out there and hit it with full force, So
hell yeah.
Pack more people into the room, I guess.
So I do want to ask this because on the Metal Archives, which is kind of like Wikipedia, for everything they get right, they get some things wrong because it's edited by its users. Okay.
Yeah.
So as for a genre they've assigned you on here, melodic black metal, I could kind of see some of that. So you said the name of the EP is Border World. Now, looking through the previous releases that you have done, like Plains of Despair, Into the Azure, I'm kind of sensing like a little bit of a thematic thing here.
Yeah, there is definitely a theme behind the music. Our vocalist, Dave, is, to put it politely, Dave's a nerd.
Aren't we all on something, though?
He is a sci-fi man. You could talk to him about, some old black and white movies from the 60s, and he'll know what you're talking about. But a lot of the music is actually based on video games, and a lot of the lyrics and stuff are based on video games. Specifically like games like Half-Life. I know the new EP Border World has a song inspired by Shadow of the Colossus. Betrugger is inspired by Doom. So there's just a bunch of different video game influences, and yeah, we're all into sci-fi though. We're all a bunch of nerds. I would be lying to you if I told you we weren't. So
definitely. So I guess the reason why I asked that is because the actual first full length that you had has some amazing artwork on there, and the other the Opeth cover and the single has some amazing artwork as well. Are we continuing along those paths with the artwork?
Yeah. Yes, the artwork, as you'll see, is done by a guy. I hope I'm saying this correctly. His name is Verices Otek. He has done stuff for like Amon and Marth, Cattle Decapitation. He did the Plains of Despair cover. He did the Demon of the Fall cover. And he's just a great artist, and he's super easy to work with. He works with you the whole way, and he also has done, as you'll see, he did a tour poster for us that we're going to turn into a shirt design later on down the road too. So
amazing.
He's just to work with, and great guy. Always on point, always meets deadlines, and that's about all I can ask for. So
hell yeah. So now, like I said a minute ago, now the real hard work begins. So now it's all about not quitting your day job, but you got to go on tour, right?
Yeah.
So
we've got some tours lined out already, so we're all planned out and ready to go.
Hell yeah. Anything, are you all sticking to the States currently and then possibly saying where things go and then going overseas, or how's that going to work?
Yes, overseas is definitely something that we've talked about. We don't have anything lined up, but that's definitely something for the future that we would like to go over there and do. I don't know if you guys know, but Nick Burks is actually heading over there really, really soon.
Yeah.
At the War Cloud, I think, isn't it? Is it with War Cloud?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And I know there's some other things in the fire there. So
yeah,
I know he's headed over, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick is the busiest man in this region. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he gets it done. That's how it is.
For sure, and there's not anybody I don't think he could play with, honestly. Well,
truthfully,
there's a few people that I know he couldn't play with, but that's another story for another day.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I'm excited because it's just like, holy shit, I've got to go out and see this now. I want to see you guys in these, palace theaters, and I love mid-sized places. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge fan of like giant arena shows anymore as I've gotten older, but like these mid-level seating, like 3,000-4,000 seat places, I absolutely love. Like, I saw Testament and Exodus and Death Angel in a place like that. I saw King Diamond in a place like that. And it's just fucking rad. It's more intimate. It's more personal to me.
Speaking of venues like that, I actually just did some electrical work at the Louisville Palace and Ballroom.
Oh, wow. Cool. I was just there for the Who show.
I was literally working there that day. The fans on the smoke deck outside and the lights right there at the entrance. That was what I was working on.
Hell yeah. Well, and that brings up a very interesting point, and this could be a huge learning experience for a lot of younger musicians that listen to the show. Is you just said that you were doing electrical work.
Mm-hmm.
So you are a skilled electrician.
Yes.
So that is one of the greatest positions you could ever have.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's going to need electric.
Oh, yeah. I could go anywhere in this city and get a job at any point. It's once you have that experience, no one can take it away from you.
Well, and city hell. I mean, if you decided to move out to L.A. or whatever, you could have something. Yeah.
Country, honestly, yeah. About the only ones who do it backwards is Indiana, believe it or not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because that's Indiana. That's what they do. Everything's backwards here.
I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think Indiana is actually the farthest state behind in the national electric codes.
Oh, I'm sure it is. They're just whack crazy shit. Yeah.
It's always fun to work over there.
Oh, I bet. Now, but my point was this, is saying, while you're trying to achieve your goals of being a touring musician out there, learn a trade, do something that you can fall back on, because this is not an easy life as a musician.
Oh.
And, there's going to be times where you think you're going to be borderline homeless because of being a musician. And until that one time comes that it's just like, it's that one payoff, but it's always that one payoff. And when is it going to happen? Is it even going to happen? So seriously, take your time, learn something to fall back on. And because you'll always be able to make money doing that, as well as, you can still always play.
Very good advice. Very good advice.
Well, dude, I am super excited for you guys. This is such grand news, and it's great that it's happening to somebody in the region where I'm at. In the Louisville, Kentucky area, it's always nice to see your friends do something that's heavy like this. This is fucking rad.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine, an independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Let's go ahead and shift gears here and let's get into some general profile questions for you, because you didn't get to answer some of these the last time. The show, it was about 3 years ago you were on the show, back in April of 2019. So I'm excited because you're the first radio guy that's come back on here.
Hey, I'm happy to be back. It's always good talking to you.
Hell yeah. Who would be a dream musician that you would ever want to meet or work with?
Oh, that would be two different things, because meeting and working with somebody, hanging out and working with somebody are two completely different. If I had to hang out and meet with somebody, I would probably want to hang out and meet with probably a veteran. So I'd say somebody like you mentioned earlier, like King Diamond. I absolutely love King Diamond and just the things he does, and not only the things he does, but just the things that the musicians he brought in have done, and other bands as well. So I'd say King Diamond would be a fun one just to sit down and have a conversation with.
For sure.
As far as meeting, I would love to absolutely party with the dudes from Hailstorm. I've listened to Hailstorm all the time. They were always my go-to back in the day when I would drink with friends. So I would absolutely love to, throw down some shots of rum with the guys in Hailstorm.
Hell yeah, dude. And you did say Ailstorm and not Hailstorm.
Yes, Hailstorm.
It's like, man, I didn't think you would want to party with Lizzie Hale. That's cool. No. No, for sure. They seem like such party animal guys that are just fucking drink.
Yeah, that's fun. That's what we're pretty much all about too. We don't get too much into the Satan and the occult and the blood and the death and all that stuff. We're just trying to have fun. That's what we're doing. We like playing cool riffs. So
right, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
And that's birth of thrash right there. It's like, hey, listen to this cool riff.
And drink this beer while you're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of being a skilled laborer like an electrician, have you learned any new skills over the last couple of years with the pandemic?
Oh, yeah. I have a tendency to pick a hobby and stick with it until I feel like I'm pretty proficient at it, and then I'll drop it. So I did a little hunting during the pandemic. I learned how to build and maintain guns. I learned how to I went fishing a lot. I used to go fishing back in the day, but I hadn't been really as an adult. So I started fishing really 3 to 4 times a week. I was down at the Falls of the Ohio fishing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that a lot. But there's just been so much that I've just picked up on, a lot of new video games and things like that. So
for sure,
it's been a fruitful pandemic.
Definitely. And, that's the whole thing. You said that, you went hunting and things like that. And I've never been really a big hunter or anything, but I like to go to the range and fire off a few times a year. But that's the real big thing, is like being able to take apart and clean a firearm is definitely a ridiculous respect for that.
Yeah, it's been. It got to the point to where I learned I wanted to get an AR when the pandemic first, started, and I just wanted to get an AR because I saw everybody was having sales on them, and I had thought about it before, but I just never really, I was like, I'm never gonna go shooting. But I bought an AR, and I was like, well, you know what, I want to build one. So I built one, and then I built another, and then another, and I started building them from scratch. It was crazy.
And then it became an addiction almost.
Almost. I'm glad I got out of it, because guns is a very money. Money, because once you start, because you can buy just the pieces and stuff offline and have them shipped to your gun store and go pick them up, and it's almost like doing a puzzle kind of. It's pretty. It's therapeutic at some point, but it was something I learned, and that fishing and all that, just going outside and being outside, and that was real. That was kind of refreshing to me, because I kind of lost that over the past few years before that.
Hell yeah. What's your most cringeworthy moment on stage?
Man, why you got to ask the tough questions?
Because that's how it is. We got to, now that you're about to go on this, like, whatever, possibly huge tour, now we got to find out what, up to this date, is your most cringeworthy moment, because it's obviously going to change here soon.
Yeah, something's going to happen. I think I was playing in Lexington. I think it was Best Friends or Al's or one of those. And I was playing down there, and I had a vocal part come up. This was when I was playing with my other band, before Volcandra. And I forgot of my vocal part, so for some reason I just decided to scream like a redneck into the mic. Not even like a metal scream, it was just like a yee! For some reason that's what I did. And I turned over, and my vocalist was looking just dead at me like, what did you just do?
That's harsh. I mean, you were in Lexington, so you're speaking the language.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I have tons of friends in Lexington, and they're all awesome people.
Trust me, we get along just fine with them.
Right? What is a band that you like that none of your friends like?
There was a band that I actually discovered not too long ago called Unto Others.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, man, I'm digging them. But, every time I show them to somebody, everybody's like, the vocals ain't for me. Don't like it. I'm just like, oh, man, this stuff is just, I love it. I absolutely love Unto Others, man. They have been awesome.
No, they're great. And here's a shameless plug for the show. If you go back to the archives of June of 2020, you can listen to the Idle Hands / Unto Others episode with Gabriel Franco.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. Gabe's totally cool, dude. He was, we were just like, messaged him, and he was just like, yeah, man, yeah, sure, that sounds good. Let's do it.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, out there's always these classic albums that everybody talks about. Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, if that's your thing. Back in Black. The first 4 Metallica albums. There's these classic albums out there that are just so revered by metal fans alike. Well, maybe not fucking Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. I'm just using it as an example. So, what is a classic album that you do not have a copy of?
I do not like Kill 'Em All at all.
Ooh, so you don't have it?
No, I do not. I've never had it. I don't plan on getting it. I really like Master. I really like Ride the Lightning. I like the Black Album, and I like Injustice. And other than that, the rest of it can just go away and disappear. Now, I will say the new album, Hardwired, was actually pretty decent. I was surprised with some of, the riffs on that album. There was some pretty good riffing on that album. So, but yeah, don't like Kill 'Em All at all.
Okay. So is it like a production thing?
No, I It just doesn't do anything for me, man. It just, I guess it's because the first Metallica song I ever heard, I believe, was Master of Puppets.
Okay.
So
I get that.
Maybe that was my expectations of them, and I don't know what it is, but I've just never been a fan of it.
Definitely. And there's some songs on there that I could really like leave. I don't want to say take or leave or anything, because a lot of those songs, like, I could never listen to Seek and Destroy ever again in my life and be fine with it.
Just because you heard it so much?
Yes. I mean, for a time, I was in a band at one time. Actually, it was Overload, but we used to cover it, and it was just like, nah, God, this again. And seeing them do it live, it's like I could really leave Sad But True because I've seen an Enter Sandman, because I've seen them play it so many times.
Yeah.
But like, there's other things that I would like, even Black Album stuff, like The Struggle Within. I'm like, fuck, you're going to play that? Hell yeah. And I finally got to see it. So.
Oh, Louder Than Life. I went Sunday. I went only on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I went and got a little tipsy. River called me and said, hey, I got an extra ticket to Louder Than Life. Do you want to come see Metallica tonight? And I said, well, boy, do I. And I saddled up my horse and I went on over to see Metallica. And they were like, okay, we're doing the Black Album in its entirety tonight, but we're going to do it backwards. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They started off with I think it was it The Struggle Within?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that, they started off with that, and I cried a little bit just because that, I've been waiting to see Metallica forever. I tell everybody I'm named after a Metallica song, Dyer's Eve. I highly doubt that's the case. My dad wasn't a big heavy metal fan, but yeah,
see,
I like to think that's cool.
And I'm going to be that guy, and I'm like, okay, he was a Led Zeppelin fan, wasn't he?
There you go. Yeah. Well, actually, I was told that it was a baseball player that had the last name Dyer, and that's how he found out about it, and that's how he really liked, or that's why he liked it. So that's what he used. But
hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I got a few more. What is something you've always wanted to do, but you're not coordinated enough to do?
Coordinated enough to do. I'd like to give somebody a tattoo one time. That'd be cool. But I definitely probably messed up their skin.
Right. Yeah, they're, that is a trade where people are like, that people that don't have tattoos, they're like, oh, they're just tracing. Anybody can do it. No, fuck that. No, they can't.
That's some skilled labor right there.
Yes, very skilled. And, a lot of them work for a lot less than what they're worth, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is true.
So, I can't remember that from the last time I actually saw you in person. You are a tattoo guy, right? You have tattoos?
I have one.
What the hell? You're in a metal band that's going on tour. You need more. You need sleeves like tomorrow.
Wait till you see the press release photos, man. I'm the only short-haired guy in the whole band.
Oh, shit. You just... What is this? What is this, 1995 Metallica?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, see, I'm the only short hair. Everybody else got long hair. I cut my hair. I was like, man, I'm done with this. Because, I'm up in an attic or something like that, running a wire. The hair's in your face. It's hot.
Yeah.
It got too much to deal with, so I snipped it off. But I still get shit from Dave and River all the time about it.
Well, see, now you can grow it back out.
Maybe.
Another lighthearted question here. What's your favorite animal?
Dogs.
Dogs, yeah. Hell yeah.
I love dogs. I absolutely love them.
Hell yeah. Do you have a particular kind? Are you like a big, like, Rottweiler Husky guy, or are you like Chihuahuas or some shit?
I have a Border Collie that I've had a dog my entire life that I can remember. I've always had a dog, and this Border Collie, I've never had one before this one. I went to a customer's house, and I worked there for about 3 to 4 days, and every day on my lunch break, I'd go throw a ball with their dog and get my lunch, and it made me want a Border Collie, and I lost a German Shepherd Husky that I'd grown close to, and I was calling around, and somebody I knew had said, hey, yeah, we got a Border Collie that we really can't take care of. It's too high energy. I said, I'm on my way. Let me come see her. And I've still got her, and she's the absolute best dog I've ever had in my life, and I don't think I'll ever own anything else besides a border collie. So
hell yeah! See, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is totally fucking cool, man, for sure. What is a song you could never tire of listening to?
Oh man, Cousin Dupree by Steely Dan, probably.
Wow, that's an interesting one to hear.
Oh yeah, it's a real interesting one. If y'all get a chance, just go listen to Cousin Dupree by Steely Dan. It's a very Kentucky-esque song,
right?
But it's a very catchy song, and I don't know what it is about that album, but the snare on that album is absolutely just amazing. I don't know what that dude did. He hit the magic button on that snare mic, because that album, that's a great album. Oh, album.
So what you're telling me is that's the basis for where Lars got the idea from, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Good old Lars.
That's terrible.
Now,
I never miss a moment.
I had a copy of Saint Anger, so I listen to it pretty often.
Right? I never miss a moment to rag on it. Seriously, if I can bring it up, and I think it's like that sign that's like in the workplace. It said we've had 0 days since our last incident, or we've had 241 days since our last incident. It's probably been 6 days since my last mention of Saint Anger on the show, which was last week. So
keep fighting that fight.
Right. I'm going to make sure that no one ever forgets it.
I mean, you can't, man. That thing still gives me a headache to this day.
Nightmares.
Yeah.
They're all nightmare long, huh?
I see what you did there.
Metallica representatives, if you are listening, it's all a joke. It really is.
And we love you. Give us free stuff, please.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey guys, Wrestling Steve of the Wrestling Steve Show here. So if you're currently listening to the Metal Forge with Mark Jackson, then you understand that Mark Jackson has a pretty discerning taste when it comes to music as a whole. You'll also understand that he has a discerning taste for professional wrestling, just like me. My show is called the Wrestling Steve Show. I talk about modern and classic pro wrestling in a completely unbiased, unfiltered way. Be sure to check me out on all available podcasting platforms. That is the Wrestling Steve Show. And I am the host, Wrestling Steve. Just remember, like Confucius said, man who goes through turnstile in Thailand is going to Bangkok. Pro wrestling.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. What album is an absolute playthrough for you?
Well, here lately, I know we were talking about Unto Others earlier. That's been a good one for me. I've been listening to their Strength album a lot. But like as far as like always and has been always been there and always will be, man, that's a hard one because there's been so many really good ones that I've listened to so much over the years. I try to think of something a little bit older that I could, that's like I said that I've always listened to, but I'm trying to think of something that's like always been on my playlist. I'd probably say Dirt. I really like Dirt. Dirt's a great album. Alice in Chains.
Hell yeah.
So that's that album. It's an older one. I heard it on the radio, and of course, I wanted it as soon as I heard it. So that was another one of those where I owned it, and I just listened to it all the time.
And I will say this about the whole grunge thing. Nirvana, I was about to say Pantera, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, fucking all of those bands. They are, Alice in Chains in particular, in my estimation, in my opinion, are like the heaviest grunge band out there. And it's not a matter of what they are playing, like distorted chords or anything like that. I've always been an advocate for things can be heavy on a lyrical content that make them heavy songs.
Yeah.
And that band, whether it be Lane singing stuff, Jerry singing stuff, whatever, has always had a super heavy lyrical content to go with, their sound. And they were heavy as a band.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, if you just listen to the We Die Young or the actual song Dirt or any of those, like you could put that up against any modern metal song in terms of heaviness,
Oh, for sure. For absolutely sure. So, as always, links are listed below, so please give a like, share, and follow to these guys. Go to their Bandcamp, buy albums, buy merch, wherever you can. The links will be listed below. Dyer, do you have anybody you want to give shout-outs to today?
Everybody in Volcandra, you guys are working so hard. I love you boys. Give a shout out to Nick Burks for doing everything for us. He's a great guy. He does so much for us. We can't say thanks enough. And to everybody at the Prosthetic Refuge Camp for having faith in us and shoving us out into the world. So thanks to all those people. And thanks to you, actually, too.
Dude, I appreciate this. This is, like I said, it's been a long time coming. And I've been wanting to get some more of the radio show guests back on the show. But, hey, I mean, there was a pandemic, and now that we're out of it, I'm going to be able to do some of these more what I'm referring to as reforged episodes, where I get to follow up with people.
That's cool. I like that. That's clever. You're clever.
See, they come to me usually a few minutes late, but they're still there. So, final question of the day is: I used to ask, what album changed your life? But I'm kind of leaning away from that because I want to gear this out to more a younger-based audience because most of my listeners are in their, 30s to 50s. So let's get into this. Let's get these younger musicians listening to the show. What is something that you could impart to a younger musician advice-wise that you've been able to, your wisdom that you could instill to them?
Do not limit yourself to just metal music. Metal music may seem on the outside to have the most talent or the most heaviness or the most flair and all that stuff, but if you know where to look, you can find hidden gems in every genre that completely shit on anything any metal musician can probably do. So you got to know where to dig and don't, because that was my mistake when I was younger. I was, if it ain't metal, I don't even want to, I don't fuck with it. That was such a mistake because there's a lot of gems out there in genres you wouldn't expect. So,
yes, I 100% agree with you on that. There is always something out there that will impress you from something else, whether it be Willie Nelson or Lemmy or, you had mentioned, the song that you could never tire of listening to was Steely Dan's song. And I was like, hey, that's kind of odd because I don't get Steely Dan that often on here.
Oh, really? I love that. I love Steely. They're some of the most talented dudes in the world, man. They are awesome. They get to pick and choose who they want to work with, and they always just come out with, good written music. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Dyer, thank you so much for coming on the Metal Forge this week. And again, congratulations on the news. That is super fucking rad. I am so excited for you guys. Like, beyond fucking belief.
I appreciate that. That means a lot, man. I appreciate it.
You got this new EP coming out soon. We're going to go ahead and play something from it because it was debuted yesterday. What are we going to play off of the new EP?
Well, the single is called Talon 4. It's a pretty little song that starts off a little slow, and then it hits you right in the face. It's definitely I'd say either my first or second favorite off of the EP, but it's a really good little song, and I hope everybody likes it.
Hell yeah.
I think this will be the one that gets people moshing and spinning around and doing crazy stuff. So.
Fucking yeah. So, metalheads out there, you heard him. This is Talon 4. Hey, thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. I want to take a minute to remind you guys about the Patreon page. Over on the Patreon page, we have the tiers set up to support the production of the show. We feature the Down and Dirty, which is just $1. There's nothing special for that one, it just sends me a thank you because every dollar helps. Then there's the double down and dirty. Much akin to the down and dirty tier, everything helps produce the show in the end. You make your presence known, and I appreciate that more than you realize. Thank you for being a dedicated friend and supporter of the Metal Forge. By selecting that tier, you will receive some cool Metal Forge stickers in your mailbox. Now, we're really going to start pounding the metal madness with the Apprentice Metalhead for just $5 a month. By becoming an Apprentice Metalhead, you'll be given early access to the shows, published 24 hours before everyone else gets it. You're also going to receive 3 entries in any contest that we do here at the Metal Forge. You're also going to receive a 10% discount on all Metal Forge merch, and you're going to receive a sweet Metal Forge patch for your battle jacket or backpack. And now, here is the big one. This is the Master Metalhead for just $10 a month. By becoming a Master Metalhead, you will receive a hand-numbered Metal Forge Master Metalhead membership card. You're going to be given early access to the shows as well, with 36 hours before everyone else. You're going to receive 5 entries in any contest that we do here at the Metal Forge. You'll be able to submit audio questions that I will use on the show of you asking questions to the upcoming guests. Remember, timing is everything, and you will need to keep up with the upcoming guest list on the website. You're also going to receive advanced knowledge of any new merch coming out and be given a 25% discount on all Metal Forge merch. And you're also going to get all of the other rewards from the other tiers. So visit patreon.com/Metal Forge Radio today and help support the Metal Forge. Rock on.